What is an open-ended question in sales? We've got the answer to that and much, much more on this episode of The Inside BS Show. Hi, I'm Dave Lorenzo, and this is The Inside BS Show. Today, we're answering the question, what is an open-ended question in sales? And we've got 6 answers to that question for you. We've got really great information. And after we cover the 6 answers to that question, we also have a 7th point you're not going to want to miss. It's my favorite open-ended question. I want you to stick with me all the way to the end of the video because my favorite open-ended question is right at the end. You don't want to miss that. All right, this is a video in a series of 7 videos on open-ended questions. Today we're answering the question, what is an open-ended question in sales? Let's get right to the content. Number 1, an open-ended question in sales is designed to build a relationship. That's right, it's designed to build a relationship. Think about it for a minute. When you walk into a prospect's office or when you sit across the table from a prospect or if you're on the phone with a prospect, you want to build a relationship before you do anything else. This is not hit and run sales. You're not in this just to get a quick transaction done. You're here to build a lifelong relationship with your prospect, make him a client, and be with that client until either you die or he dies. This is designed to be a lifelong process. So open-ended questions in sales help build relationships. It's so important to think about it from the long-term perspective. Your sales cycle may be 10 minutes, it may be 10 weeks, it may be 10 months, or who knows, it may be 10 years. No matter what you're doing, you're using these open-ended questions to build relationships. So now we're up to point number 2 in what is an open-ended question in sales, and that's the focus on getting information and understanding what's going on in the world of the client. The entire point of an open-ended sales process and the entire point of open-ended questions in sales is to really uncover what's going on behind the scenes in the world of the client. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why do I need to know what's going on behind the scenes? The most important thing you need to realize in any type of relationship-based sales process, whether you're a professional like a lawyer, a CPA, somebody in insurance sales, a financial advisor, or a consultant, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're a sales account executive in any industry, the most important thing for you to understand is that people bring you symptoms and you have to figure out what the ultimate problem is. So you've got to be focused on getting information and uncovering what's really going on behind the scenes. So if you're asking me what is an open-ended question in sales, my answer to you is candidly, it's a tool to get behind the scenes and understand what's really going on in the world of the client. Because after you do that, with that understanding, you can then figure out the best way to help the client, the most important thing you can deliver for him or her, how you can make that person the hero of the story and help them advance in their career, help them improve their life, and by doing so, create a relationship that will last for the long term. That's the second element in this open-ended question process, getting behind the words, going behind the scenes, and figuring out what really is important in the world of your client, figuring out how you can help them become successful, figuring out how you can take their pain away. So what is an open-ended question in sales? Well, the best way I can answer that is it's a discovery tool, and the more the client talks, the more you discover. You see, when we use open-ended questions in sales, we learn exactly what the client's pain is, we understand what the client is looking to achieve, what their goals are, and we figure out ways that we can help them. So if you're asking me what is an open-ended question in sales, my answer to you for point number 3 is it's a discovery tool. You want to discover new ways to help the client. You want to understand how you can make sure you know what the client needs and what you can provide to him or her. So we're outside discovering nature during this segment, and that's point number 3. When it comes to what is an open-ended question in sales, it is a discovery tool for you to use to understand how you can help the client meet his or her needs, exceed his or her expectations, grow his or her business, and achieve their goals. What is an open-ended question in sales? Point number 3, it's a discovery tool. What is an open-ended question in sales? Point number 4, you're looking to use open-ended questions in sales to find a way to help. It's a very easy concept to understand. You want to help the person who's in front of you. And the way that you diagnose what their problems are, or the way that you understand their goals from their perspective, is to use open-ended questions to get to the heart of the matter. As we've said in the last couple of segments, there are things that the clients will bring to you that are symptoms, and then there's the underlying problem. And our goal in sales, by using open-ended questions, we're looking to diagnose what the underlying problem is. Or, put it another way, when the client brings a goal to you, they may tell you what the end goal is, but the steps to reach that goal may be unclear, and you may be able to help them with the steps to reach that goal. So when it comes to open-ended questions in sales and wondering what is an open-ended question in sales that really works, you have to remember that you're looking to find ways to help. That's your goal, that's the aim, and most importantly, you're there to help the client solve a problem or achieve a goal in return for them investing in you financially. So, wondering what is an open-ended question in sales makes sense. The open-ended questions exist for you to find ways to help. So what is an open-ended question in sales? We're up to point 5, and open-ended questions in sales help you qualify your clients. Now, if you're new to the world of Dave Lorenzo, that's me, one of the things I look to do constantly before I sit down and speak with someone is make sure they're qualified to work with me. And I teach my clients that they need to make sure that everybody that they speak with, everybody that they work with, is qualified not only to work with you at the outset, but also qualified from a lifetime value standpoint. So when it comes to open-ended questions in sales, they help you qualify your potential, your prospective clients. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they have the ability to hire you. They're the decision maker. They can, with the stroke of a pen, decide to hire you to bring you in. The second thing that means is they have a problem that you can solve. Most people who come to you are going to have a problem you can solve, but you need to make sure they have a problem that you can solve. So that's the second thing, and that's why open-ended questions in sales are good, because they can help you figure out what problems people have. And then the third thing is they have to have the money. They have to be able to afford to work with you. They have to have the money to work with you. So that open-ended question process helps you figure out if they have money, the ability to make a decision, and a problem you can solve. Those three things. And then the fourth thing, of course, is urgency. You want to make sure the people that you're working with have urgency. They know that they need to solve this problem right now. They know that they're stuck. So that's point 5 in what is an open-ended question in sales. It helps to qualify you. It's a qualifying process. Open-ended questions are great for that. Stand by, stay tuned for point number 6. That's coming at you right now. What is an open-ended question in sales? Number 6. And number 6 is uncover ways to help beyond the first sale. That's why open-ended questions are so important. If you're looking to uncover ways to help beyond the first sale, open-ended questions are the ideal opportunity for you. It's the ideal way for you to do this. So Let's talk more about how open-ended questions in sales help you uncover ways to help beyond the first sale. If you're spending your time talking to your ideal client or your ideal prospect about how you can help them, they're going to tell you stories, they're going to give you ways that things are going in their current business or in their life. And that's exactly what you're looking for, but you only get there when you ask open-ended questions. If you ask yes or no questions, you're going to get yes or no answers, and those answers are not going to lead you to things you can do beyond the first sale. So take a CPA, for example. The CPA may have done taxes for the client, and they ask the client, you know, Mr. Client, what's your intention with your business? Are you ever planning to sell at some point? And the client's going to say, sure, I would love to if I get the right offer. I would love to sell. And then the CPA says to the client, well, you know, your business is not structured appropriately. And the client's going to say, well, what do you mean? And the CPA will say, well, tell me about your goals. Who would be your ideal suitor for your business? Who would be the ideal person for you to sell your business to? The person will tell them, and then the CPA can recommend a structure for that business so that the ideal person who could acquire the business would be really open and receptive to the opportunity if the business was structured properly. So the CPA essentially develops more work for herself or for himself by asking, who's your ideal suitor? And then they can say, oh, I see, they would prefer an LLC versus an S Corp, or they would prefer a C Corp versus an LLC. Let me help you restructure your business so that it's packaged appropriately for sale. This is why open-ended questions are ideal for the sales process, because they get behind the thinking of the person sitting across the table. You can explore more deeply what their goals are, what their intentions are, and you can help them solve problems beyond the initial problem they brought to you. Now, it's time for my favorite open-ended question, and that's coming up right now. We're now at the seventh and final point in our time together in this session, and this is what I promised you at the beginning, my favorite open-ended question. As a reminder, this is just one video in an entire series of videos. You can find the other videos, a link to the playlist with the other videos right up there behind me. This is just one in a series, so make sure you watch all the other videos in the series for great information. Okay, here's my favorite open-ended question. This open-ended question in sales is going to make you more money than anything else, and I'll ask it to you just like I would ask a prospect. Why is this important to you personally? Why is achieving this outcome so important to you personally? So, Mr. Prospect, Mr. Client, why is this so important to you personally? The word personally has to be in that open-ended question, and why this question is so powerful is because it helps clarify everything we've talked about so far. It helps drive home that this process, this specific thing that you're going to do for this prospect, the specific thing you're going to do for this client is going to change not only their business but their life. Every opportunity that we have to work with a client not only affects their company, but it affects them personally in some way. Maybe they're going to get promoted if things go phenomenally well. Maybe they're going to get fired if things go badly. So, Mr. Prospect or Mrs. Prospect, why is this so important to you personally? Ask that question and then stay quiet. When it's time to close the deal, you go back to them and you say, well, Joe, you told me this process was so important. You told me the outcome of this engagement was so important because if you get it right, you get promoted. If you get it wrong, you get fired. I want you to get promoted, so let me help you. Would you like me to help you? When you figure out why things like this, why your process, why your service, why the experience they're going to have with you, when you figure out why it's important to them personally, you know how to close the deal. And that's my favorite open-ended question. So you asked me at the beginning of our time together, what is an open-ended question in sales? I've shared with you the 6 reasons why they're so important, why they're powerful. I shared with you what they are, and then I gave you my favorite open-ended question in sales. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and watch the rest of the videos in this series. If you do, you'll close more deals, you'll make more money, and that's what I want for you. I want you to make a great living and live a great life. Watch the other videos in this series right now.